I'm going to go to the playlist. And if anybody wants to sync in with the music, I'm pressing play in 3, 2, 1. Come on in. There's some little marks on the ground if you want to line up your mat. Some little marks right on the ground. You can see them just. Yeah, you got it. So beginning on your mat, standing. Feet can be separated. Turn the heels out slightly from whatever direction they're at, just so that you've got just a gentle pigeon toe, keeping those knees facing forward over their ankles. Begin to feel down into the earth here. If it helps you to roll your shoulders back a couple times, you're welcome to do so. Reach those fingers down towards the earth. Allow the back of the skull to draw towards the sky as the chin tucks in slightly. Gently lift that lower belly. If you're comfortable closing your eyes here, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, finding a softly focused gaze, maybe a point that's not moving, and then imagining that you're looking through that point. Sometimes it can be a little scary to close our eyes, especially when we're balancing. And this mountain pose is a balance. Beginning to connect to that breath, Ujjayi breath, tongue connected to the roof of the mouth, all the way up in that cavernous space where it gets soft behind the ridge of teeth. The tip of the tongue will connect to the roof of the mouth, and you'll feel a gentle constriction in the back of the throat, beginning to slow the inhalation and exhalation. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. This is Ujjayi breath. Making contact with the earth, using the soles of the feet to connect you in. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. Begin to press into the feet, maybe gently bending into one knee and the other, starting to bring movement into this mountain pose. Maybe when you're ready, inhaling those arms up all the way overhead. Exhaling, tracing down the center line. Intuitive movement here, maybe bending one knee, shifting off to one side, maybe following the breath with the arms, bending into that other knee. See what it feels like to be in your mountain along with your breath. 2 more full breaths right here. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, finding that Ujjayi, tongue connected to the roof of the mouth. If you've been moving, wiggling your body, coming into stillness at the center, 1 round of breath, inhale, arms open out to the sides, palms touch overhead. Exhale, tracing the center line down to the heart. If eyes are closed, opening the eyes gently. Inhale, arm comes up overhead. Gaze follows the fingertips. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Belly touches the thighs. Hands come down to the earth. This time shifting one leg and then the other, just wiggling into those hips as you find your forward fold. Create 2 fists with the hands and place the fists in between the big toes. Walk those big toes in to touch the outer edge of the fists. Heels still turned out slightly. And then from here, you can allow the arms to release from the earth, taking hands to opposite elbows, shaking the head yes, shaking the head no, finding your ragdoll. Maybe still moving through that rooted foundation here, shifting to one side and shifting to the other. See how it would feel to turn out your heels just a little more slightly. Turning those heels just towards the outer edges of the mat. Yes, that's it. That way that knife edge of the foot is parallel with that flat outer edge of your mat. 1 more full breath right here. Releasing the elbows if you've got them touched. Hands come to the shins. Inhale, shines the heart forward, shoulders roll down the back. Exhale to fold all the way in. Inhale, heart shines forward, shoulders roll down the back. Exhale, coming all the way down once more, just like that. Heart guiding you forward as you lift. Exhaling to fold. This time, inhale, arms out to the sides, rising with that flat back here. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart, finding that mountain pose once more, softening the gaze or closing the eyes. If you'd like to set an intention or dedication for your practice, now would be a good moment to do so. Or maybe just returning to that ujjayi breath, tongue against the roof of the mouth. This will be where you will constantly come back to throughout practice. When you find yourself drifting away, come back into that breath. One more full breath right here. Eyes opening gently. Inhale, arms come all the way up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale to round. Coming up to standing, inhale all the way up. Exhale, trace the center line down to the heart. Begin again. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, shines the heart forward. Exhale to bow. Inhale to rise, guided by the heart always. Exhale, hands come all the way into that heart center once more. Just like that. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Vinyasa, a series of movements connected by the breath. Follow your breath. You know where we're going. Exhale to bow. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Connecting, building. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale, planting the hands, one foot and then the other, steps back into a plank. Bend your knees deeply here. Press your belly back until your belly can touch onto your thighs. Gaze is between the fingertips, middle or index finger pointing forward. Step the feet a little wider than hip distance apart. So we're in sort of an awkward dog right now with the knees bent as deeply as we can. Get that booty all the way up to the sky and then look towards your belly button. Begin to drop one heel and then the other down towards your mat. Maybe pedaling out your dog here before you come into that static pose. Continue to press forward through the fingertips. Imagine you can press the fingertips and the knuckles of the hands down into the earth so firmly that you could even lift the heels of the hands off of your mat. Just imagine. Maybe you can get there, or maybe it's just imagination. Feet a little wider than hip distance apart here, heels turning towards that outer edge of the mat. One more full breath, just like this. Next, inhale, coming forward into that plank. Exhale, knees come down to the earth. Heart comes down in between the hands. The elbows squeeze the side waist. Inhale, slide the heart forward. Roll the shoulders down the back. Press the tops of the toes down. Exhale, rolling over the knees, lifting the hips. Find that downward facing dog. Vinyasa, series of poses connected by the breath. Let's try it again. Inhale forward into that plank. Exhale, knees and heart come down to the earth. Inhale, slides belly forward, coming down to the ground. Press the pinky toes down. Exhale, rolling over the knees, lifting the hips. Option to stay with this vinyasa as we progress through the practice. I'll give you an option to level up just a little bit. If you want to try it with me, you can, or you can practice the same one. Inhale forward into that plank. Exhale, squeeze the elbows against the side waist. Chaturanga, heart shines forward before the belly touches. Tops of the feet come to the earth, hips lifted, shoulders roll down the back, gaze to the sky, and then rolling over the tops of the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Bend those knees, drop the knees to the earth, big toes to touch. Find your child's pose here. Knees can be even as wide as your mat. Perhaps pressing down through the hands. Center of the forehead making contact with the earth here. Gently rocking hips from side to side. This child's pose, kind of like a small little mountain, maybe like a rock here on the earth. How does it feel in your body to be so solid, so close to the earth in this moment? Remember that connection to your breath, tongue against the roof of the mouth. Slow inhalation through the nose. Slow exhalation through the nose. Pressing through the hands, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, finding that downward facing dog. Taking a moment to meet there. And then finding that vinyasa, inhaling forward, exhaling to lower. Inhale, lifts the heart. Exhale, lifts the hips. Whatever level is working for you, find it again. Inhale forward into the plank. Exhale to lower. Vinyasa, series of poses connected by the breath. Allow your breath to guide you through these movements. One more round, just like that. Option to stay in your downward facing dog. Option to come into your child's pose. Option to take it a little bit higher by lifting that right leg up to the sky, pressing that heel away, rotate that big toe down towards the ground. Look down that center line so you can see that big toe there. Pressing equally through both hands. Inhale, right heel rises. Exhale, forward, tap that right elbow with your knee. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale through the center line. Give yourself maybe a little kiss on that knee. Thank you, body. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, cross the body. Can you tap that left elbow? Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, touching down those toes. Take your vinyasa. Inhale forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale lifts the heart. Exhale lifts the hips. Option to stay in your downward facing dog. Option to stay in your child's pose. Option to rise that left leg up to the sky. Pressing that heel away. Again, look down that center line of the body. Make sure you can see that big toe pointing towards the earth. Next, inhale, foot rises a little higher. Exhale, forward into that plank. Tap that left elbow with your left knee. Inhale, leg out long. Exhale through that center line. Option to give yourself a little love here. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, cross the body. Right elbow taps. Inhale, leg up to the sky. Exhale to lower. Hang out here or take your vinyasa. Inhale forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale lifts the heart. Exhale lifts the hips. Inhale to bring the gaze forward. Exhale to tiptoe your way forward, setting that strong foundation. 2 fists between the big toes, heels turn out slightly. Belly rests on the thighs as you fold. This protects the lower back here, gives you the opportunity to release a little bit more deeply. Hands come to the shins. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale to bow. Inhale to rise. Exhale, palms come to heart center. Let's begin again. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, hands to the earth. Right foot steps back. High crescent lunge. Inhale, opens the body, heart to the sky. Exhale, planting the hands, both feet step back into that downward facing dog. Hang out here or take your vinyasa. Inhale forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale lifts the heart. Exhale lifts the hips. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, shift it forward in between the hands, stepping. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, planting the hands, power off that back leg, step your way forward. Strong foundation here. Hands to the shins, inhale, lengthens. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. One full breath right here. Kid, you'll move mountains. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Hands to the shins, lengthen the spine. Exhaling, hands to the earth, left foot steps back, crescent lunge, heart rises. So getting that lift through the heart here, first and foremost. Hands to the ground, step your way back, downward facing dog. You can always take a break if you need to. Inhale forward, take your vinyasa. Elbows brush the side waist as you lower. Excellent. Heart shines, shoulders down the back, lifting those hips. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward in between the hands. Inhale, heart rises, opening to the sky. Exhale, planting the hands, step your way forward. Hands come to the shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift the weight into your right foot. Left knee bends. Left knee opens out to the side. Finding that tree pose, this is exactly the pose right here. Toes touching the earth, heel balanced just above that ankle joint. If you want to go more deeply in, you can slide that foot up the calf. If you want to go more deeply in, you can slide that foot anywhere above the knee joint. Anywhere above or below the knee joint is exactly perfect. Hands to the heart, lifting the heart to the thumbs. If you'd like to take your branches out to the sides, you're welcome to do so. A fixed point of focus concentration, something that's not moving, like maybe on this mandala behind me, will help you to hold your balance. Remember your breath. Tongue against the roof of the mouth. Slow inhalation through the nose. Hear the breath through that constriction in the back of the throat. 2 more full breaths right here. Pressing the foot into the leg into the foot. 1 more breath. Inhaling, hands back to heart center. Exhaling, that left knee comes forward, left knee comes down to the earth. Give yourself a little shift and a shake. Grounding down. Opposite leg, right knee bends forward. Right knee turns out to the side. Again, this is that pose. Anywhere above or below the knee is absolutely perfect. How can you lift your heart towards your thumbs to get that length through the spine? If you want to slide your foot up a little higher, you're welcome to do so. You can even use your hands to assist you if you'd like to. Protect your knee joint by placing yourself above or below and lifting the hands to the thumbs. Find that point of focus concentration. Take your branches to whatever shape they would like to make today. Three more full breaths here. Press the foot into the leg into the foot. Last full breath. Inhaling, hands back to heart center. Exhaling, right knee forward. Right foot comes down to the earth. Give yourself a little shift. Maybe a few rounds of that breath, opening heart to the sky. Reaching. Inhaling, arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhaling, placing the hands, right foot steps back. Inhale, heart rises up to the sky. Exhaling, placing those hands, finding your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hang out in your downward facing dog if you want that extra core work. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, forward, tap that right elbow. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, forward, come through the center line. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, tap that left elbow. No matter where you are, inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward in between the hands. Inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Bring that left hip forward now. So bring that left hand to your hip and see if you can drop that left hip forward. That back heel is lifted from the ground. Now, using the hand as a sort of pivot here, see if you can open that hip to the side, drop that heel out, right arm comes forward, opening into your warrior two. Sinking a little more deeply into that front knee, use that back arm to pull you back, finding that balance, shoulders over the hips. And then gaze comes over that front middle fingertip. Make sure you can see that front big toe just inside the knee. There you go. Feel that activation of the outer thigh here. Strong pose here in your warrior. One more full breath. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, reaching forward as far as you can. When you can't reach anymore, windmill the arms right there. Back of the hand comes to the inside of the leg. Gaze comes up overhead at those extended fingertips. You can even give yourself a little opening here by reaching across the front of the body, tapping that right side of the rib cage, and then peeling the heart open towards the sky. Find the breath in these static postures. See if you can drop the shoulders down the back a little bit more. One more full breath. Inhaling up to center line. Exhale, bend the front knee. Find that warrior two. Maybe it feels like a resting pose now as we return to it. Maybe it's still just as challenging. Let's see if we can combine the two. Inhale, fills the body. Exhale, reach forward over that bent knee. When you can't reach anymore, windmill the arms. So elbow comes to that front knee, or maybe even fingers all the way down to the ground as you find your extended side angle. Left fingertips can be all the way up at the sky, or you can reach them long overhead, whatever feels the best to your body here. No matter where you are, sinking that left shoulder down the back, gaze is up towards the sky. If you've got your right elbow on your knee, see what you can do to create a little bit more static awareness there. Maybe just gently lifting a little bit of weight off of that right elbow. One more full breath. Inhale to rise, back to the center line, straighten that front leg, hands come to the hips, left foot steps out and to the side so that both hip points can face forward, finding that pyramid pose. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, bend that front knee, come all the way forward, belly touches onto the thighs so that you can make contact with your hands. Once you've got the support of that front leg, then begin to fold over that leg, pressing through the right big toe as you bring that right hip back, straightening that right leg. Keep bringing that left hip point forward. Yeah, you can use the blocks there. That's a great adjustment. And that front knee can be bent as deeply as you need to create that point of contact here. Some people try to teach pyramid pose with the back fully straight and both legs straight, but this modification protects the lower back. You can create that little swivel with that right hip, just bringing it a little bit back towards the rear of your mat while you bring that left hip forward and get this deep opening that will prepare you to open even further in the future. Last breath here. Inhale, front knee bends back, heel lifts. Step that back foot back so you can bring that back knee onto the ground. If it's a little tender to put your back knee down, you can fold up a blanket or fold up your mat. You can keep that back knee lifted if you want. Inhale, arms to the sky no matter where you are. If that back knee is lifted, it's a little bit more challenging. Left elbows coming across to that right knee. So you're twisting towards your bent knee. There you go. Right hand comes on top of that left palm. Inhale, heart lifts towards the thumbs. Exhale, pressing into that right hand, lifting the heart towards the thumbs. Gaze comes over the shoulder. If your back knee is down and you want to go deeper, you can always press into the toes and lift that back leg. No matter where you are, inhale, make space with the belly. Exhale, allows you to twist. One more full breath. Inhale back to the center line. Exhale, planting the hands here, lifting that back knee. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, stepping your way forward. Strong foundation. Hands come to the shins. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to bow. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down the center line. Begin again. Inhale to rise. Exhale to bend the knees and fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, planting those hands. Left foot steps back. High crescent lunge, one breath. Inhale, opens the body. Exhale, planting the hands, making your way back into your downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, elbows brushing the side waist as you lower. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, lifting the hips. Stay here in your downward facing dog. If you'd like, if you want that extra core work, inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, shift forward, tap that left elbow with your knee. Inhale, leg rises. Exhale, through the center line. Inhale, leg rises. Exhale, cross the body, tap that right elbow. Now, no matter where you are, inhale, leg rises. Exhale, step it forward in between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge, coming all the way up. And then bringing that right hand onto that right hip, help bring that right hip forward so that back pinky toe is on the earth, that back heel is lifted. Nice adjustment. There we go. Finding this opening in the crescent lunge. Now, inhale fills the body. Use your hand to guide you open into warrior two. So right hip pivots back, right heel comes to the earth, reaching that left arm in front of you. Right arm pulls you back in space until you can find that center, shoulders over hips. And then gaze comes over that front middle fingertip. Can you see that big toe past the inside of the knee? Yeah, that's it. Awesome. Remember that Ujjayi breath in these strong standing poses. How can you breathe like a mountain? One more right here. Inhale, straightens front leg. Exhale, reach forward over that front leg. When you can't reach anymore, windmill the arms, back of the hand to the inside of the leg. Finding that triangle pose, maybe even reaching that right arm across the body, touching that left rib cage, peeling your heart open to the sky to deepen. Come into that breath, beautiful breath sounds. One more right here. Inhaling back to center, bend that front knee, coming into that warrior two pose. Combining these poses, inhale fills the body, exhale forward, extended side angle. Angle, front elbow comes to that knee, or maybe fingers come to the earth. Right fingers up to the sky. I think we lost sound. Last breath here. Inhaling back to the center. Straightening that front leg, hands come to the hips. Right foot steps out and forward. And then bringing both of those hip points to face towards the front of the mat for that pyramid pose. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, bend that left knee as deeply as you need to touch the belly down and bring those fingers down to the earth. Once you make that contact here, press into the big toe and begin to shift that left hip back, right hip forward as you fold. It might just be a subtle movement. Sometimes it's just imagining that you can move that left hip point back. That's it. How would it feel to step that right heel back just a little bit more? Yeah. One more breath right here. Inhale, front knee bends, back heel lifts. Exhale, tiptoeing that back foot back. Bringing that back knee onto the ground if it's comfortable for you. Give yourself extra support if you need it or keep that back knee lifted. It just means you're going to be doing a little bit more core work, no matter where you are. Inhale, arms up to the sky, finding that low crescent lunge or that high crescent lunge. Bring that right elbow across to the knee. So turning towards your bent knee, palms come to touch, left hand pressing down into the right as you lift the heart towards the thumbs. If that back knee is on the ground, you can always tuck those back toes, lifting and lengthening that back knee. Every inhalation creates space with the belly. Every exhalation allows you to twist a little bit more deeply. 2 more. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, planting those hands. Inhale, shines the heart forward. Exhale, stepping that foot forward. Strong foundation, 2 fists between the big toes. Heels turn out slightly. This time, bend the knees, reach the hands behind you as far as you can. Drop that booty as low as you can, and then sit up into your chair. Take a moment to look down. Make sure you can see all 10 of your toes past the inside of your knees. If you need a little bit more support, you can step those big toes together to touch and squeeze those inner thighs. No matter where you are, drop that booty back and then lift your heart towards your hands. Once you get that action, lifting the heart towards the hands, see if you can gently activate the lower belly, just like a little micro tilt of the pelvis forward, zipping up the front of the pants. There you go. Gazes between the hands. 2 more full breaths. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Hands to the shins. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, making your way back into your downward facing dog if you'd like, eventually meeting in your child's pose. Take a vinyasa if it feels good to you. Otherwise, coming all the way down to the earth. Knees wide, big toes touching. Hips back towards the heels. Arms reaching out long. 1 more full breath, just like this. Gaze comes forward towards your hands, pressing into the hands to lift the heart slightly. See if you can slither your way forward along your mat. Any way that you want to get your belly down is totally fine. Bringing the fingertips underneath the tops of the shoulders. Heels of the hands come down. Press the pinky toes down onto the mat, setting up for a cobra pose here. Elbows squeezing in towards the center line. Exhale, pubic bone presses down to the earth. Inhale, heart rises. See if you can lift the hands off the mat. Bring all of that pressure into the tops of the feet. Press down the tops of the feet. Slide the heels of the hands just a little lower on those ribs. Reconnect with the earth. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. And then imagine you're pulling yourself forward towards the front of your mat. This is your cobra. Imagining you can slither across the mat, just this gentle traction, heels of the hands connected to the earth, trying to slide them towards the hips. It's an imaginary movement, as if this action could pull you off the front of the mat. 1 more breath. Inhale fills the body. Exhale, bringing that right ear onto the earth. Palms come face up by the hips. Big toes touch and heels turn out. This is Shavasana on your belly, giving an opportunity for the spine to realign. These moments of stillness are what build the bedrock of our foundation. 1 more just like that. Fingertips underneath the tops of the shoulders, chin comes to the center line. Inner thighs come together, pinky toes come down to the earth. Exhale, press down the pubic bone. Inhale, heart lifts, find that cobra pose. Create that isometric traction as if your fingers are sticky like a frog, like a little tree frog, and you could pull yourself all the way off the front of your mat just by pulling the heels of your hands down towards the heels of your feet. Gentle gaze forward. Remember your Ujjayi breath. 2 more full breaths. Inhale fills the body. Exhale, lowering down, left ear to the mat. Palms come face up by the hips. Big toes touch. Heels turn out. Continuing to build from a strong foundation. Chin comes to the mat. Hands stay by the side waist. Walk those inner thighs together, preparing for that locust pose. Exhale, pushes down with the pubic bone. This time, inhale, whole body rises, squeezing those inner thighs. Reach the fingers towards the heels. It might be a very small movement. See if you can peel the shoulders away from the ears, reaching those fingertips as if you could catch your heels. But then energize through the toes, squeeze those thighs together and shoot the energy through the toes off the back of your mat like they're running away from your fingertips. Squeeze those inner thighs. See if you can rise those heels just a little higher. 2 more full breaths. Inhale, sustains. Exhale to lower, right ear down to the mat. That locust pose, connecting all the points along the spine. If you have bow pulling pose in your practice, I'll invite you to do it next. Otherwise, you'll be taking the locust pose just as we've done. All of those poses get all of the points of the spine for you. So none is better than the other. I'll talk you into bow pulling pose, but you are welcome to come right back into that locust pose as we've just done. No matter where you're going, chin comes to the center line. If you're coming into bow pulling pose, reaching around the outside of that leg to take a grip on the tops of the feet where the shoelaces would be, the knees can separate slightly, but bring the big toes back towards each other. There you go. If you're coming into that locust pose, the legs are out long. No matter where you are, exhale, pubic bone down into the earth. Inhale, pressing into the tops of the feet or squeezing those thighs to rise. Inhale, toes come up to the sky in your bow pulling pose. Gaze lifts just slightly towards that top line of the classroom, towards the front of your mat, if you're in that bow pulling pose. The power of the pose comes from pressing the tops of the feet into the hands. If you're in that bow pulling pose, 2 more full breaths right here. And then I'll invite you to come down through the locust pose. Take a nice inhalation. Exhale, release the legs, squeeze those inner thighs together, hovering for 1 more full breath here. Fingertips reaching down towards those heels. Inhale, sustains. Exhale to lower, left ear to the mat. Finding that Shavasana. Take a moment to appreciate your body and all that it does for you. And then bringing your hands to support your face, creating that little diamond shape for your nose to tuck in. Bending the knees, creating little windshield wipers with the feet. An X and a Y, X and a Y, just like the wipers on a bus. Coming to stillness when you're ready. Bringing the feet down to the earth. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Option for a reverse push-up here, tucking that belly, lifting all the way up, bringing your knees forward, and coming onto your seat. Finding that seated pose as if you were coming to a boat. Instead, reach the arms out and roll the spine down onto the mat. How slow can you go? This is all core work here. Press those feet down. Use that activation, pressing those feet down to slow your descent, 1 vertebrae at a time, coming down the mat until the shoulders touch down, until the back of the skull touches down. And then bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze and a rock from side to side. Maybe making big circles with the knees. Going in one direction for a couple rounds. And then switching directions when you're ready. Coming to stillness. Arms come out to a capital letter T or a cactus, whatever is most comfortable for you here. Knees tucked in tightly. Inhale fills the body. Exhale, knees over to the right hand side. The closer the knees are to the belly, the more protected the lower back will be. Gaze is up towards the ceiling or maybe out over those left extended fingertips. Softening the belly with the breath. Giving yourself this moment to sink down into the earth. Somehow in these spaces of surrender, we create the strongest substance. When the mind wanders, send the invitation to come back into your breath. One more full breath right here. Inhale, press down the backs of the arms, feel the belly engage. Exhale to draw the knees back to the center line. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Realign the spine. Any small movements that you need to make here, this space belongs to you. Coming to stillness at the center when you're ready. Arms coming out into that favorite shape for you in this moment. Inhale fills the body. Exhaling, knees tucked in tightly, bring them over to that left hand side. The closer the knees are to the belly, the more protected that lower back will be. Gaze is up towards the ceiling, or maybe out past those right extended fingertips. Softening the belly with the breath. Give yourself permission to be here exactly as you are. Exactly as you're showing up. No need to change. When the mind wanders, maybe just making that invitation to come back into the breath. One more full breath right here. Inhale, presses down the backs of the arms. Exhale, engage that belly, draw the knees back to the center line. Give yourself that little shift from side to side. Realign the spine. Taking any little movements that you need here in this space. Meeting back at the center line when you're ready, planting both feet onto the ground here, and then finding that slight turn out of the heels. We've been playing with it all class, maybe just a slight little pigeon-toed effect. This will help keep those knees aligned over the ankles. Fingertips reach down towards the heels and ankles. Gaze is up towards the ceiling, just coming through the bridge pose here, rolling through it. Belly tucks towards the face. Exhaling, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. If you want to shift your gaze, you can shift your gaze towards your belly button. Inhaling all the way at the top. Exhaling, rolling down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Vinyasa, following this movement with your breath. Inhaling, filling at the bottom. Exhaling, rolling up the spine. Inhaling, filling at the top. Exhaling, rolling down the spine. This undulation, this wave along the spine, maybe deepening with the breath. Once more, follow that wave. Exhaling, rolling your way up the spine. Inhaling, exhaling, rolling your way down the spine, taking your time, planting each vertebrae into the earth. Inhale fills the body. Exhaling, rolling up the spine. This time finding a static bridge pose. Once you get up to the shoulders, one shoulder and then the other dips underneath you. And maybe that's where you stay, fingertips reaching down towards the heels, maybe pressing the pinky fingers down into the earth. If you want to come deeper, you can interlace the fingers behind the back, squeeze the heels of the hands together first, and then press that fist down into the earth. Lifting the hips here. If you want even more of a challenge, lifting that right foot off the earth, right toes come up to the sky. Sustaining the posture with the breath. Lowering that right foot, finding that center, lifting that left foot up to the sky. Lowering that left foot, finding that center. Imagine you can bring the knees just a micro movement closer to each other. One more full breath. Inhale releases the grip of the hands. Exhale, rolling down one vertebrae at a time, planting the spine along the earth. Stepping the heels out just a little bit further, knees rest against one another. One hand coming onto the heart, the other hand coming onto the belly. Taking this moment to embrace and thank your body for being here. You can stay right here if you'd like. If you'd like to activate the core just a little bit, bring both hands down on either side of the hips, tuck the knees in towards the body, and send both legs up to the sky. Maybe practice with pointing the toes, flexing the feet, making circles with the ankle, whatever feels good for you here. Taking a gentle legs up the wall in the center of the room here. This is a core engagement pose. Can you soften the knees just slightly, soften through the ankles, and allow the whole spine to rest against the earth? Hands on either side of the hips. Just allowing the body to be still in this inversion. You may stay here for as long as you would like. If you need to come out of this posture, bending the knees, planting the feet on the earth, one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart, just as before. If you'd like to come deeper, I'll invite you into your shoulder stand. Begin by tucking the shoulder blades down the back just slightly. Very important that you keep a static gaze as you move into this posture. That means that one point of focused concentration. So from that legs up the wall pose, knees come in towards the chest, hips lift over the shoulders, walking the elbows towards one another. Palms of the hands come to support the lower back. Press the fingertips in towards the hips as you lift the toes up overhead. Flexing the feet, then press the balls of the feet towards the ceiling. Weight is in the elbows here. If you need to come out of this posture, always coming out slowly, the same way that you came in, will be for a few minutes in this inversion. So find whatever is most sustainable for you. Give yourself permission to change as you need to. Shoulder stand, activate the inner thighs. Imagine there's a string pulling up from the big toes straight towards that ceiling. Maybe even moving the heels towards the hips just slightly away from the face to find that balance. Big toes over the hips. Remember to connect into that breath. Soften the muscles of the jaw as you connect in. If you're in that shoulder stand and you want to move more deeply in, coming into the plow with the legs out long, starting to bring the feet towards the face until the big toes touch down to the earth. From this place, you can release the hands from the lower back, maybe interlacing the fingers, making that fist, heels of the hands squeeze together, and then pressing that knife edge of the fist into the earth, the same way that you might have practiced in that bridge. Palms can also be flat on the earth here. Pressing the heels away from the body. Yes, like they're radiating out in that same energy line from the crown of the head. 2 more breaths right here. And if you'd like to move more deeply in, allowing the knees to bend so the tops of the feet where the shoelaces would touch come down onto the earth. Karnapidasana, ear pressure pose. If the knees tap down to the earth, squeeze the knees around the ears. You can lift the hands off of the mat, maybe even give yourself a hug behind your knees. Whatever is working for your body here today, moving slowly through the breath. If you're in an inversion, 1 more full breath. And then beginning to roll out from that ear pressure pose, straightening the legs, rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time, maybe guiding the feet with your hands. Maybe the hands come down to anchor the hips, lowering the legs. Option for a little core work here, squeezing those inner thighs, lowering those heels down towards the ground. No matter where you are, press the hands into the earth on either side of the hips. Once the heels touch down, press the elbows down and lift the heart. Finding that fish pose, crown of the head gently tapping onto the mat. All of the weight is into the elbows here. Shining the heels away from the body, off that edge of the mat. Gazes gently off that opposite side of your mat. Heart is lifted, breathing into the center of the chest. 2 more full breaths. Press down with those elbows. Inhale to gently lift the crown of the head, rolling spine down onto the earth, rolling the palms out from underneath you, opening them towards the sky. Taking a moment in stillness here. Then maybe making gentle movements of the neck, rocking the head from side to side. If you need any last poses before your Shavasana, you're welcome to take them now. Perhaps a happy baby pose. If you'd like to come into that happy baby pose, knees come back into the body, using hands to separate the knees, taking a grip on the knife edge of the foot. It's about getting length in the spine. So press the tailbone down before you go any further. And then perhaps bring the heels over the knees. 1 leg or then the other extends. Perhaps just staying in that diamond shape with your legs, whole spine connected to the earth. 1 more last breath wherever you are. And then stepping the legs down to the ground. Bring the right hand to the right shoulder. Create a big circle with that elbow, big circles up towards the sky, down towards the earth. So you're tracing from your feet all the way to the crown of your head. And the next pass through, tuck that right shoulder underneath. Right arm comes out to the side. Left fingertips come to that left shoulder. Big circles here, like you're tracing from your feet to the crown of your head, up over the front of your body. And the next pass through, tucking that left shoulder under, gently folding that left arm out to the side. If the knees are bent, 1 leg and then the other steps out. Take up as much space as you need here for your Shavasana. Eyes closing gently. Softening the muscles of the jaw, softening the lips. Softening the corners of the eyes. Softening the eyebrows. Softening the muscles of the forehead. Imagine you can even soften the crown of the head. Whole body connecting to the earth. Whole body melting into the earth. Whole body becoming the earth. Gently drawing the breath back into the body. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe reaching the arms up long overhead. Taking that full body stretch. And as you're ready, making your way over onto one side to lay cradled in the fetal position, eyes remaining closed. Next exhalation, bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position, no matter which way you're facing. Legs crossed, spine straight, palms resting. One more breath, inhaling, arms out to the sides. Gather all of that energy around you. Palms touch overhead, and exhale to pull it down into that heart center. Take a moment to bow to yourself and honor yourself for coming to this practice today. Because be your name Buxom or Bixby or Bray, or Mordecai, Ally, Van Allen, O'Shea, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. This space is all yours. Thank you so much for joining me.